Welcome back, guys. This is Pastor's Coffee. This is episode 24 now. Stiff, how's your week been?
Been doing good. Been a little different week. As you can see, the background's a little different. I'm going to be repainting my office and getting some bookshelves for this wall.
Super cool.
And so, didn't realize how many books I had. I was like, oh, I just need like a couple like 2 or 3 bookshelves on the
They
wall.
add up.
As you can see, there's quite a few. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um, that'll be happening next week. We have a youth outreach event this Saturday, doing kind of a cleanup and
Cool.
stuff. So that should be fun with a little wiffle ball and pizza
Yeah,
before.
yeah, it's great.
Um, and I learned I don't have anything to prepare for this week either. I mean I'm just always never I I feel like I put on events nowadays, but no, we this Sunday night our local Christian academy they went on a mission trip, and so they're presenting
Cool.
their how their trip went and everything. And so I was actually prepared before Saturday for Sunday night,
Pretty good.
and it I don't have it anymore. So the one week I'm actually prepared, I don't need it. So
Well, you'll be ready
uh,
to go next week.
yeah, because well, this week, as we both know, we have a brutal master's paper papers that is
Have you finished either of them?
no comment.
Oh, man. Oh,
Have
no.
you finished either of them?
I just turned them both in before we
Both.
called. I finished them
Wow.
both. Yeah, it's
Wow.
been a brutal week. That's all I'm done. But I'm done. I got them done.
Okay. Well, good. I'm proud of you.
I can show
I
you them later. It's been a week. It's
yeah.
been tough.
I'm good. But anyways, so now my weekend kind of freed up with no uh sermons or anything.
It ain't gonna
Uh,
be free when you start them papers.
it's not gonna be free after that. So, I've started the leadership one, the
We'll
New
get through that one
Testament
quick.
one. Yeah, the New Testament one is not started. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, I'm just not a Monday through Wednesday kind of work guy, you know. Um, I'm just kidding. Well, sort of, um, but anyway, how's your week been going?
uh, like we said, it's been kind of dominated by those two papers. Those have been pretty brutal. Just trying to keep my head and my motivation towards getting it done. I've been having so much writer's block in them. Um, it's a lot easier when you really care about what you're writing. These two, it was a little bit for me to get into it than normal. But I got them done. I don't know what kind of grade I'll be getting, but hopefully it's okay. And but other than that, it's been a good week. We had a played a little bit of softball this week. Played basketball. Played pickup. Obviously regular work hours. Um, Here at the church, we had a good service last night, and yeah, things have been good. God's been good to us. Um,
Good.
but yeah, this Sunday night, this Sunday morning and Sunday night, I am going to be speaking, like a lot of youth pastors do. Um, so I need to work on my Sunday night message a little bit more. I'm almost done, but it's yeah, it's going to be a good week. We also have an event, youth event Saturday. We're partnering with a couple of churches in the area,
I saw.
um, and doing they're calling it a decathlon. So there's going to be like 10 events for them to do, and then there'll be a speaker and uh, a youth praise band and everything. So should be a fun opportunity for them. But yeah, that's been a week.
Did you win in softball?
No, no, this one was about like your last week. So
Yeah.
I think I told you my brother plays with me. He's in the
Okay.
outfield with me. So it's super cool. Usually we're right beside each other. We do four outfielders. That's probably what you guys do.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm in left usually. I play left, and then he's usually left center. So it's pretty cool. Us get to communicate all the time. We're usually pretty similar in the batting order together. So it's fun getting
Yeah.
to play with him. But there's one play in a game where uh, one of the other team's best hitters, he hit the ball and it's skying. I mean, it's heading towards the fence, and it's right by my brother. My brother's tracking it. He's right under the ball, and then the lights turn out. We had an 8 o'clock game,
Oh,
and all the lights shut off. And dude, it's pitch black. And he just immediately puts his hands over his head, and it luckily went over him. And it had a lot of loft on it. So, but if it would have been a line drive, it could have been really dangerous. But
yeah.
we were down for about 20 minutes before we could get the lights turned back on. It was pretty eerie out there. It was foggy, and you had the lights turned off. It was a crazy
Yeah.
scene, but it's always a blast. We got run rolled though. Yeah.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah. So it was cut short. So the 20 minutes didn't make up that much time.
Yeah, we do double headers, so there's double headers
We do too. Yeah, we do
every
too.
game. So we lost our first one 17-14, which wasn't bad.
That's good.
Uh,
Yeah, that's good.
And then our second one, we actually gained a player, so that helped. Then we started off the first game, we only had 3 players, in the outfield, and then we gained that fourth, so that helped a lot. But it was the bottom of the 7th. We only go 7 innings, and it was 8-8, and there's a man on third, and all I had to do, 2 outs. All I just had to do is get a single, and I choked in the moment.
Oh
But
no.
we did end up winning that game.
Okay.
But
Okay.
but I choked in the moment, and
That's
we had
tough.
to go extra innings.
Yeah.
So, let the team down, but hey, we still got the dub. So
Yeah. Well, all I can say with softball is that I miss basketball that much more. Every time I get out there, I remember how much I miss basketball.
yeah. Oh,
Well, speaking of basketball, we do have a special guest today that we've been talking about bringing him on here for a couple weeks, and it just worked out today. So we'd like to bring in Jalen Mack. And speaking of teammates, he could play a little ball back in the day. A little bit of emphasis on
So I got big.
back in the day. Now he can still play. But Jay, appreciate you being on here and joining us. We've been meaning to do this for a little bit, but appreciate you being here.
I appreciate y'all asking me, man.
Oh, absolutely. Today, it kind of only was fitting to talk about this topic was kind of like teamwork in ministry. What's the importance of teamwork in ministry? When have you seen teamwork shown well in a church? When have you seen it not work well in a church? And obviously we can cut through some of this, but Steph, do you got anything off the top of your head before I can either start it or close it?
I got you. When I think about teammate in the church, I think all 3 of us relate to sports and how I mean, we played different sports, but for instance, football. As a lineman, I don't get seen very much in the spotlight, and the quarterback gets seen in the spotlight, and so I think that we see that in the church sometimes, where the pastor does get a lot of the spotlight sometimes for things to get done. He gets a lot of criticism for the things to get done, but there's guys in the background who do all the things, setting up tables, cleaning out the coffee machine, stuff like that in ministry that just doesn't get seen. And so when I think of teamwork in ministry, that's kind of something that I get brought to mind. Something I've seen recently in our church is the people who are behind the scene and who do a lot that don't get seen as a lineman would in football. And so that's just a thought I had, and you guys will probably have some more thoughts on that. And so anything for you, Brooks, Jalen?
Jay, you want to go first or me?
It don't matter, whichever one.
You go ahead if you got anything.
All right. Well, I mean, now I'm running a team at a church, like I'm a worship pastor. So a lot of people take that as, I'm the one that needs to be seen. They don't. That's the misconception that is in worship all the time. Like you have the lead singer and you have the rest of the people, all right? So you have the other side of teamwork to where now in churches we have a lot of jealousy when it comes to teamwork. Like people not really wanting to do their jobs because they see it as significantly less, but in actuality, their part needs to happen too for everything to run. So you have that part of teamwork. Then you have, I mean, it's the same thing basketball. I mean, you know, everybody's seen Brooks, everybody's seen Tinch, everybody's seen, that year we had that team, everybody's seen all the main players, but what they didn't see is in practice, the bench players was the one playing against us, getting us ready to be able to play that way. Or, I
Right.
mean, even if we didn't have to, like, you know, there was some times where it seemed like, that starting five was overpowering and it wasn't competition, but in actuality, like, had we not seen some of the stuff that they threw at us, we would have never been able to play that well.
Yeah.
So, but then you dealt with the other side of it, where it was like people was, you know, they wanted to
Don't
be.
don't name drop. Stiff
I'm
said
not
it, but
name dropping. I don't name drop. You know that.
I name drop.
you
Yeah,
do.
I'm watching. Still be name dropping all the time. but but no, yeah, some people that was like, oh, like I could be doing the same things, but it would you seen it ruin team chemistry sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's the other side of teamwork that I didn't
Yeah.
like personally seen more so being in this position.
Yeah. I do want to talk more basketball with you on this later since we got you here. We gotta talk a few stories while we have you on here. But at least for me, my take on teamwork in ministry, I don't know if it's just fresh in my mind just because of the paper that Steve and I have been writing or not yet writing. Um, is has been talking about Paul and just his illustration um, of the body of Christ. And I learned a lot from coaching this year, not just pastoring, but coaching too. Just seeing how teamwork works and how it doesn't work in certain situations. But everybody has a role to play. I heard one time that there's no such thing as a star player.
Mm.
Sometimes your role is to be the star player. Everybody has a role. Sometimes your role is to be the best player on a team, the most involved in a ministry, the most um, apt to teach or able to do a certain job, but you're all doing a specific role. And I also think that I've learned that teamwork is so necessary because you can't do it all by yourself. This year, it's been really kind of challenging, and I don't know. We haven't really talked about um, our makeups of our ministry, like as far as how many people's on your worship team or how many's helping you with the youth. Steph, obviously, we talk about our wives in here a lot. Um, I could not do my job without Mackenzie. I mean, it's clear she takes care of a lot of the issues concerning the girls of the group and some different organization things that really takes a big burden off of my back and protects me. I need her to shield me from certain things, and I try to shield her in other ways. But I also think that a good leadership team around you protects you from getting some of that criticism that you were talking about. When you are the end all be all and your vision's going forward and there's nobody else that anything can say, you're opening yourself up to maybe the success and everybody talking about you, but also, man, when the downfalls come, it's all on you
Yeah.
because you didn't protect yourself with those people to hold you accountable and keep you steady. So teamwork in ministry is so important, and I think it's a big reason why we do this right here, where we get with other pastors, other people in ministry, and kind of just encourage each other and talk about just issues and things that we're going through. Because if we try to do this all by ourselves, it's going to cripple us
Yeah.
and bring us down. We won't be able to navigate the certain things that God puts in front of us. I do think that it can be very scary, like you were talking about with the jealousy. Um, because you can look at other people in different situations and wish you had it, but then obviously the people under you wishing they had what you had.
Mhm.
And I think if we all get ourselves a center back on the body of Christ, and if I mean his illustration, if a bone breaks, that part's that part's not functioning in the body. If there's a person in the body that's not doing their role, not doing their job in the church, in ministry, everyone feels the effect of it. You can't function the way you could have when you were whole. And I think with us looking at our teams, we have been given a position where we get to teach, we get to lead in certain ways, but we need those people that God's placed
Yeah.
around us, because if one of them breaks, it affects how we operate our job and our position.
Yeah.
And the same thing is for us. If we break, it affects everyone else. And I think that's a great, sobering thought for us, and it keeps us accountable. But teamwork really. I mean, if I've learned anything in this first year is I need more help, and I'm going to keep trying to get more help because teamwork is so important. Jesus had a team, 12 disciples. Obviously, we talked about it, but those 12, he impacted the entire world with them. So it's important to realize that and apply it to our lives. But any of y'all got anything else before we?
No,
I think just with leadership, I think it's especially for us with leadership is to be a great example as well for the people who are around us. You know, if people are seeing the pastor saying, "Oh, my job isn't to go clean the bathrooms or clean this or make the snack," I think then they'll follow that, and say, "Oh, that's just too low for us.
Yep.
That's for somebody else to do." And I think it's important for us as leaders in the ministry, all of it, to put on a good example for that, and not just to put on as an act, but to actually have that in our lives, and for that to truly be our intention with what we do.
I mean, Christ washed feet. I mean, he washed feet. I mean, it's the most disgusting thing that we can think of. They don't have, most of them didn't have shoes. They're walking barefoot a lot of places. I mean, their feet are disgusting, and he takes that job. And even Peter at the Last Supper is like, "No, not me. I should be doing that to you." And then obviously he flips it. He's like, "No, I'm gonna do this because I came to serve, not to be served." And it's a great reminder. Sacrifice is such a huge part of teamwork. Just it's not always your day, and you need those other people around you. And obviously we can go back to this, but something that I don't know I've ever told you, Jay, but I want to make sure that you know that I knew, is I think that especially on that team that you were mentioning, I think you sacrificed more than anyone else, and especially while playing with me. I was a scorer. I liked to score. I felt like that was my best way to contribute to the team. You could score as well, but you could really create. You could score, but you could really create. You were able to see the floor well. You knew how to match up hunt. You could break down the game in a different way than a lot of people could, and I really, really appreciated that. So I think sacrifice. You look at all these great teams, and especially at higher levels of basketball and other sports. The higher levels, everybody's good at everything,
for sure.
But some people are a little bit greater at specific things.
Yeah.
And it can be applied to ministry, but especially in sports, everybody's good, but some are greater at specific things. And sometimes you need to take a back seat in a certain area so that you can drive in the other one.
Yeah.
So I guess just my question to you, talking on that, take us into your mindset of those teams as far as figuring out your role and why you played the way that you did.
Well, so take it back to freshman year, right? Freshman year, we only had 3 scorers on the team, right? It was me, it was Tench, and it was Logan. Y'all probably have mentioned Tench before on here, but we had 3 scorers. We had some other people that could score. We had Eric, we had Kenny, you know what I'm saying? But like people that was scorers, that was the 3 that we had. So freshman year, it was an adjustment for me because, went to Woodrow and it's fast paced. Everybody on that team can score. Like from the best player to the last person on the bench, they can really score. So coming in freshman year, I knew I was going to be playing with other good players. So I had to kind of shift my mindset to what else can I do and what else can I get better at? Because, okay, like you said earlier, every night is not your night. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what can I do to make the team even better than all 3 of us going out there scoring 20 points? You know what I'm saying? What could I do to, okay, if Tench is on fire, why would I try to score so much instead of just feeding him the ball? If Logan had it going,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Let me rebound. Because there's other things that go into a great basketball team, and it's little things that doesn't get done all the time. So my mindset for that team was just, what can I do? And I carried that all the way through my career. When you got there, like before you got there, I had to handle the ball a lot. You know what I'm saying? But when you got there, there was two ball handlers. So what I really had to work on when you got there was playing off the ball. Because I mean, I wanted you to score. You know what I'm saying? That was what you did. You scored. I didn't have to score. You know what I'm saying? So I had I had Tench. That year we had Dez. Dez was he was a hustle player. You know what I'm saying? Dude was one of the shortest people on the floor, but he had 20 rebounds against one of the tallest teams.
Yeah.
So so guess that team, I can't shake this thought. It still messes with me, man. If we would have had a 4 year, that team would have been special.
Yeah.
That was the COVID year, though. That was the year. I mean, we had all the pieces. We had everything that we needed. Everybody was eligible because, I'm not smart, so I wasn't always there, but I was there most of it. But
I wasn't going to go there.
Listen, I'll go there. I know. I would. I listen. I think Dr. Reinhardt sometime, So not name dropping. But if he watches, I love you, cousin. But no, like, just seeing that you as a player, like, I tell you all the time, it's not because you're one of my best friends. You was one of the best scorers I had ever played with. You know what I'm saying? So my mindset that year was, how can I help Brooks succeed at scoring? You know what I'm saying? Whether that was because that year they really couldn't double team three people. So one of us was going to break down a defense. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I knew I could get to your side of the floor and your man would have to help. You was right where you was wanted to be, 3-point line, open bucket. So I think shifting my focus to being more of that facilitator. I mean, it didn't happen overnight. Sometimes I want to score, but it wasn't the best thing for the team. You know what I'm saying? Like, we needed somebody to rebound. We needed somebody to get assists. We needed somebody to play defense. We needed somebody to take charges. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many other things in basketball that has to happen for you to even think about winning the game. So if I have two scorers like you and Tench, what else could I do? You know what I'm saying? Like, because if y'all are scoring, that means I need to get to a place where I can take the stress off of y'all in other areas of the game so y'all can focus there. So, I mean, I go back to this game all the time, like Blue Lights game. Steph, you'll remember this game. Blue Lights game at home, right? What was that, overtime game? Was it double overtime or just overtime?
It's overtime, yeah.
So, at the beginning of the game, Brooks was literally throwing up hook shots, making them. He could have threw it up under his legs and made it. Like, he was making some of the craziest shots I've ever seen in my life. I'm just putting that out there. But he was making some crazy shots, but so he wouldn't have ever got that hot if I would have just shot the ball.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if I wouldn't have gave the ball to him, if somebody else on the team wouldn't have sacrificed, gave the ball to him, okay, we would have never known that he was gonna have that type of night.
Yeah.
So, but then you get to the second half, they're double teaming Brooks. So now Tench has to get going. So then after that, they're putting pressure on Tench and Brooks. So, okay, now I can score the ball too.
Yeah.
So at night, like, we all ended up, I forgot how many points we had that night, but
it was a ton. Yeah, it was a ton.
We combined for, like, I think it was something crazy, like 90% of our team's points that night.
Yeah.
But playing our roles, you know what I'm saying, that's what allowed all of us to get going. I got going from passing the ball and them hitting open shots, because if I pass it a couple times, they gonna stop helping. So my favorite thing was getting to the rack. I used to could jump. I ain't got that much gravity no more. have to come right back down after I get about 2 inches off the ground.
We both used to be able to jump.
we used to listen. I used to dunk it a little bit, but now the rim looks at me and lies at me when I touch the backboard or the bottom of the net.
Oh man.
But no, like we wouldn't have never known how special that team was if all three of us would have been selfish. Because it would have been very easy for Brooks to go out there and shoot every time he got the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He had the green light. We trusted in him. But then I mean, some of them games that he had the 25 points, he had 11 assists with it. Nobody pointed out the assists. They pointed out that 25 points. You know what I'm saying? Because you see the 25 points, but it's the things that you don't see that makes a team work.
Yeah.
So, like, even you, Steph, like, playing soccer, man. Like, if you wouldn't have played your position, you know what I'm saying? You might have not scored a lot of goals. But you played your position, and if you wouldn't have, crap. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wouldn't have been good.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
So just knowing that even the little things make a difference as a team. I mean, I'm seeing that in ministry. Like, me and the pastor, we work very well together down here because it's two of us doing. He's over the church, of course, but then he also does this thing we have called Kidsmen. I do worship and I do I'm a teen pastor too. So us working together, I mean, I mean, we're still like, we work out some things, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we look at something differently sometimes, but I am working on a project, he's the first one there to support it. You know what I'm saying? When he's working on something, I feel like I'm the first one there that's like, yeah, bro, let's do it. And it's one of them things to where it's like learning that the spotlight doesn't always have to be on you for you to be important to something. Yeah. So like that's something that ministry done taught me. Just like even the kids here, man, like they like just seeing how they interact with each other. You know, you have some kids that's super funny, then you have some kids that's kind of reserved.
Yeah.
But how that dynamic kind of like comes together over time is like, okay, what is the other person sacrificing to make this relationship work with this other person? Sure. And I mean, it's the same thing in marriage. I mean, some of the things that I done did or accomplished, I mean, I would never be able to do without Mal. She keeps my head like, Brooke, you done know me for a long time now. If I didn't have my head on my shoulders, I would lose it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it gets like, I mean, I guess that's like my mindset really was just doing the little things, so y'all really didn't have to worry about the little things. Because I didn't care if I scored 20. You know what I'm saying? I knew there would be some nights that I would, because I mean, like we said, everybody has bad games. Everybody, you know, sometimes it required us all to score 20 points. You know, but it's just learning them things to kind of not just let the scorer succeed, but make sure that our other teammates didn't have much to worry about either. So that's what my mindset was during that time.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's really why I wanted to ask you about it, just because I liked your perspective on it, and I appreciated it so much. Obviously, while we were together, but it really does. I mean, it's so cool, and I think it's why Steph and I try to bridge like the ministry and sports aspect of our podcast kind of together. You know, because there's so many similarities to it. And there's so many lessons that we learn through playing sports at different levels and different places that really do translate to this and can encourage us as we move on. Steph, do you have anything to add as far as like sacrifice or anything? But
I just know that Albina puts up a lot of sacrifice, you know, with time and everything putting in, you know, like you said, I wouldn't have any connection to the girls really of the youth group, because it's just awkward, you know, guy a youth pastor to a girl, that, you know, and with her there, I mean, they have great relationships with her, and she's been discipling them, and that gets overseen because, you know, I'm the youth pastor, and they ask me how it's going, you know, just all that, and that gets overshown. are overlooked. And so just to seeing the sacrifices, and honestly, youth ministry really isn't Albina's first choice,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
And so, and she knows that this is what I have been called to, and that she's sacrificing what she would truly love to do for this. Not that God has called her to something else, but just not her first choice either. You know,
Sure.
it's not our first choice to go set up the table for the fellowship meal or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
let's just let somebody else do that. No. And so, just sacrifices has to happen throughout the church, and people just need to realize the spotlight doesn't need to be on them to be a big impact. And so that's what I have for that.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Yeah.
As we move on to our next segment here on the podcast, we thought it only fitting with Jalen, with Brooks, obviously in their basketball history, to implement our top 5 draft. What we're going to do today is we're going to drop it down to top 3, and we're going to do a draft of all-time basketball players. Now, obviously, we're going to give Jalen the first overall pick here.
That's what I'm talking about.
Now, what may happen here is a loss of friendship if Jalen takes a certain person number 1 overall. Brooks, I will give you the 2nd overall, and I will have the 3rd, just in case Jalen doesn't take, who. So anyway, Jalen, if you don't know how this works, Jalen, first of all, are we going to do a snake, or are we going to just do snake draft?
Do snake. Yeah.
Okay. We get our top 3. Obviously, you can't pick the same player.
All right.
And we'll do a snake draft. So I'll have the 3rd and 4th, and you'll get it as we go on.
All right, but all right. So first overall, because I want to hear Brooks say the other name. That's the only one that he could pick. I pick LeBron James.
That'll be the end of this podcast.
Yeah, I have another meeting that's coming up. This ran a little bit longer, so I'm gonna have to head out. Oh, I can't stand you.
Hey, at least he admitted it that he was number 1.
It pains me to have to say this, but you can't pass him. It's Michael Jordan for my 1.
Whew. I seen a vein.
Say anything else about it?
I seen a vein pop out your head just now, man.
Just pick the next pick.
As y'all don't know, we've been recording for a long time, simply because we can't start without laughing. So we're running almost an hour here recording, but this will only look like 30 minutes. Anyway, number 3 and my number 4. Personally, I don't watch basketball that often. I've started watching it, so I don't know the old players that well. So I'm going to take probably, arguably, one of the best duos, and I'm going to take Kobe, and then I'm going to take Shaq.
It's a great pick. Great pick. That's where I was going with my 2nd. Okay. Next, I'm going to go Kareem. I'll go Kareem. Just as far as like career, that is my top 3. It'd go Braun, Jordan, and then Kareem. So if he's there, I gotta take him.
That was my pick. I think I'm gonna stick with the Lakers, and I'm gonna go Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
I get one more, right?
Yeah. This is your last pick.
Ooh, man. Let's see. This is gonna be. People ain't gonna trust me playing basketball anymore. And partially it's because I want to see Brooks like throw his computer. But I'm gonna choose somebody that sent LeBron home. I'm gonna choose Jokic.
As a top 9 player.
As a top 9 player, man.
Top 7, actually.
Oh my goodness. That's insane. He just doing this to make me mad. That's all he's doing.
So yeah, and the reason why is because he sent the second GOAT home. LeBron. He sent LeBron home.
You already picked him first, so you can't even go there. I'm making my next pick.
And he also he's the best player in the world.
I'm just not even entertaining that. My next
he's
pick.
about to be a 3-time MVP.
I'm going to take a pick that goes against everything in my mind. But if I'm looking at, I'm not only thinking about the top 9 players, but I'm thinking about impact and how they would fit with the other two. I need a shooter and I need a point guard. I'm going to go Steph, which really surprises me in taking that. But yeah, Steph.
Yes, sir.
You gotta cut that out. You gotta cut that out. Okay, Sam, go ahead.
I was trying to clear my throat. All right.
Oh, we gotta cut that.
With my number 9 pick. Running out of options here, just to be honest with you.
Oh, no.
Well, I gotta put the time down to edit this one now.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. That one was my fault.
Yeah, I'm be sad.
Oh goodness. I'm sorry. Okay.
All right.
Okay. We gotta go.
The clipboard. The clipboard.
Okay, here we go.
Oh no. Oh goodness. Okay, so your pick, buddy.
Okay. I'm gonna.
Oh, shit. Oh, my chest hurting. You got it.
You got a heart attack. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna now take my number 9 pick.
Okay.
Simply because I know this guy has won the most rings, and that's all I gotta say about it. You know, we need a guy who's gonna win. I don't even know how many Kobe won. 2?
They had 5. He had 5.
Kobe had 5.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm telling you, I don't know basketball.
Bron only got 4.
Just make the pick.
I'm gonna say Bill Russell.
Bill Russell, good pick. Good pick. Oh my, guys, this has been a insane podcast. Jay, do you have any stories to leave the audience off with from our time together in basketball or anything?
First of all, before you go, it is up to you if you want to name drop or not. I've done it.
All right.
Depending on the story,
Okay.
you'll be
All
fine.
right. So, my first time meeting Steph, okay? Do you remember that? So my first time meeting Steph, right? This was when Ruby was roommates. And Steph used to have this thing where he would get over the fan. And when he would start fanning his shirt like this by the fan. So I walked into the room, and here sits Stiff. Man, Brooks is dying laughing, but Stiff gets over there going like super fast with his shirt, and all you hear is, "It's hot! It's hot!" But that was I'm being Stiff. And then basketball, man, we got so many small stories, man.
We do.
Oh.
You can't start off with that laugh.
But there was this Welch game. We had two people get a little into it. You remember this?
Yes, I do.
And it was one of the funniest things ever because the person I'm talking about. So do either one of them watch the show? Do they watch?
I think one of them.
Tinch does. Is it Tinch?
Well, yes.
Well, I can see that now.
Well, I'm gonna say Tinch's name. I'm gonna say Tinch's name.
Okay.
But so we was all mad because we was into the game, like we was in it. We was this close to winning, but we kind of like it. The problem with our team was we used to get so winded in the first half to the point the second half. If we like, it was a very good day if all of us, guess what, and dead tired by the second half.
I was gassed. Yep.
So a lot of games that we lost it in the second half, really, because most first halves we. But Tinch got upset, and he grabbed one of our teammates and was like, "Shut up!" And at the time, it wasn't funny. But seeing the other person's face, he was like, "Shut up!" Meanwhile, you got Coach Barton just sitting there looking like. And afterwards, I mean, all of us laughed about it because we was upset about the game. But that was one of my fun. Like, there's so many more small stories that we have.
That's one of them.
That's one of them.
Yeah. A lot of them probably can't share, but
no, we can't share some of them. Well, no, we can't share it.
Just leave it.
Okay. One more thing though. So
okay.
This game, right?
The which one?
Blue lights.
Okay.
So if any of y'all ever seen me and Brooks play together, he was the shooter. I always went to the basket. I mean, I would shoot random threes here and there every now and then. Wasn't often though. My game was mid range and in. It wasn't the 3-point line. I didn't want no problems with it.
Yep.
So we're down by 4 points, and so Brooks gets the inbound. He gets the inbound, and he dribbles through their whole team pretty much. He gets to the corner, and he looks at me like this, and he's like, "Shoot it." It scared me, and I shot the ball. Okay, I shot, but it was the fact he said it with so much bass in his voice. He was like, "Shoot it!" I was like, "Yes, sir."
And you made it.
Yeah, I did, but even on camera, you could tell I was shocked that I made it. Like, if you go back and look at the game, I was just standing there like, did he really just tell me to shoot it like that? Like, my bad.
Oh man, I knew you were gonna hit it.
Man, listen, I'm glad you did because I did. But yeah.
Well, anyway, before we go for another hour, probably should end it here.
Yes.
So thank you guys again for watching today, listening to us all three talk. Thanks again to Jalen for being on the show. And we appreciate you guys again for listening. Give us whose top three was better. Last week I got roasted on mine, so from some people, Brooks obviously won in that, but it is what it is. So we'll see who wins this week. But thank you guys again for watching, and we hope you guys have a good week. We'll see you.
Like and subscribe. Thank you.
See ya.